Welcome back to another episode of Britt and Nick Do the News. We're going to start it out a little light today with some movies. Deadpool and Wolverine became the 12th highest grossing domestic release, surpassing Barbie. They pulled in $636 million in North America. And let's not forget, though, that Barbie overall worldwide has pulled in $1.5 billion. So they're still number one. But yes, congratulations, Deadpool and Wolverine. Another release to talk about, Terrifier 3. They were released on October 11th, and they pulled in that first weekend at 2.5 times more than the Joker did. After this past weekend, they have a total of 36 million, which is amazing since their budget for the film was only $2 million. The Joker, I mean, they're pulling in some money, but nothing to make up for the $200 million that they put into the film. Did you hear anything about the Joker, Brittany, of how great it was or how it might have not have been?
Yeah, not too great, actually. My dad saw it and he said, you can skip this one. It's pretty bad. Also, there's a gal online, she lip reads, and she was lip reading actually Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga during the premiere. And he was speaking to Lady Gaga saying, it's awful. It's awful. And she's like, oh, clapping, being like, don't say that. Don't say that. So yeah, even the actors themselves thought it was pretty terrible. So this is one to miss. I'd rather check out Terrifier 3.
Another movie that's coming out that I'm actually so excited to hear about, Ice Cube. He has mentioned on a podcast called $1 Million Worth of Game that the Friday is coming back.
Oh, wow. See, I love the Friday series. Personally, the first one was my favorite, but I think they're all really good. Just good vibes overall.
The biggest thing that Ice Cube said is everybody's lived a Friday. And yes, we have lived a Friday, not exactly like he lived that Friday, but I felt like I could relate to him in some ways, hanging with your friends on the block on a nice summer day.
Amen. A crackhead knocking at the window, trying to see if she could borrow your microwave. It's definitely actually happened to me. So yeah, real talk. Relatable AF, even if you don't want it to be.
All right, let's spin the news towards Diddy. Got to do the recent catch up on him. His kids are coming out. They're coming out and they're supporting their father.
Yes, that's also true. Quincy Brown, 33. That's actually not technically his son. That's Kim Porter's son with I'll Be Sure. But he still stands by Diddy. Justin, age 30. Christian, 26. Chance, 18. And 17-year-old twins, Jesse and Delilah. They all are standing with Diddy. They say that many people have judged him and us as well based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. And they're claiming that they stand united. And I'm not against the idea of saying a lot of social media takes stuff way too far. Stuff can get pushed out of control and what have you. But I don't necessarily think that's the case here. We're pretty sure Diddy did it. And I think it comes on the heels of everything snowballing from the original case in November 2023, brought forward by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. I feel after that came to light, everything else started to come out as well. So we're going to stay tuned, but apparently he has 7 new lawsuits in progress and already more than 24 filed against him. So he is in for a rough time, but they're standing behind him. They're saying, we love you and we miss you and we fully support you. So God bless the children, although be it, I think they're misguided.
I mean, that's their dad. But I mean, when you have the newest story coming out, the 13-year-old was raped by Diddy and another celebrity at a VMAs after party, then you kind of have to think about maybe this guy isn't the best dad.
100% agreed. Obviously, something is off with this dude. You can't pull out thousands of bottles of lubricant, baby oils, and some laced with GHB and not have some shady ish going on. There's just no way.
Absolutely not. In other shady news, a former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO, Mike Jeffries, is being accused of sex trafficking. Him, along with two other individuals, one being his partner, Matthew Smith, are said to have operated an international sex trafficking ring.
Sick, nasty. That's more people pushing their power and money and prestige and forcing people into doing stuff that they know they shouldn't be.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Victoria's Secret's Leslie Wexner, that individual had a close tie with Jeffrey Epstein, which we know had a big sex trafficking problem. So I think in that industry, the creeps are running around, and that is apparent with this newest story.
Yeah, that's really sad and disgusting stuff. But at the same time, it's so great to hear that these people are being brought to justice. I think once one person goes under, many will follow. I mean, I feel like Jeffrey Epstein was one of the first to go down, but they've had several in his wake because, I mean, honestly, the frauds and the pedos, the predators, they've got to be exposed. Sorry, you can only, hang under the guise of being a good guy for so long. I mean, shoot, what's Mike's age? I think he's like 80 years old. But it doesn't matter, bruh. You could have one foot in the grave and another on the banana peel. We're still going to hem you up with the wrongdoing you've done.
Speaking of Victoria's Secret, they are bringing back their fashion show. After 6 years, they partnered with Amazon and it aired October 15th. Back in 2021, Victoria's Secrets actually broke off of the L brands that Wexler was running and have reorganized and come back swinging. They had some familiar faces with Adriana Lima, Tyra Banks, and of course, Gigi Hadid. And it was also noted that there were more brown and black faces on the runway this time around than ever before, as well as plus size models. The biggest highlight of the evening, probably the performance by Cher. So if you haven't seen it, you definitely have to check it out.
Definitely, girl. I love when they do a good throwback, bringing back Kate Moss, Tyra Banks, all the 90s models. It's just so incredible to see them making their rounds again. And it's great that, like you said, Victoria's Secret's coming back swinging. They want to let you know that they are separating from the predators and they are coming out with more diversity when it comes to body, when it comes to skin tone, everything. They're just trying to let you know that we're separating ourselves from the creepers and we're putting out some more delight for your peepers, baby. They're giving everyone a chance. And honestly, I love to see it.
I love to see it too. Speaking of shopping, Black Friday deals. Target is taking the lead in reducing prices on 2,000 items as we slide into the holidays. They're hoping, for the second year in a row that they can coax the weary consumer into still buying presents, even though we have high inflation.
It is so true, Nicole. The price of everything, especially goods, is risen exponentially over the past few years. And I suppose these stores are trying to make up for that. So they're giving you the Black Friday deals super early. Nike, from sneakers to slides, they got the cozy fleece joggers on sale. Then you've got Amazon. They've got a whole lot, especially with Ring cameras and even the white strips kits. So that's pretty badass. Walmart, they are coming out with a whole lot as well, including the Apple Watch Series 9, a Spa Sensations memory foam mattress, which, we could all enjoy some better sleep. And then, of course, the Bissell PowerForce Helix upright vacuum. So I guess, I don't know if these are items for you or items for others, but they got a lot on sale. And it's seeming like vacuums is a hot one.
Oh, yes. A recent story broke out EchoVac robot vacuums are reported to have been hacked in US cities. These robot vacuums are becoming unhinged and chasing your pets and shouting racial slurs. Now, I didn't even know these vacuums could talk, but it seems like someone has tapped the system and they are running amok.
Well, let me tell you what's been running amok since 1974, girl. It's my Kirby. My Kirby's an OG, and it wouldn't dare call you a racial slur because it hates everybody. It's going to break your toe and maybe clop off an ankle as well. It does not care. It has no mercy, be it you, your body parts, or the dust bunnies. It is ruthless. And honestly, I prefer it that way. You know, just let a vacuum be a vacuum. It doesn't need to speak to you. It doesn't need to chase your small children. It just needs to, last for over 50 years. Praise be to Kirby.
This is a good time to bring up that October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
That is hella good to know. And let me tell you why. Because cybersecurity is really important. You got freaks coming out of every which angle. I mean, some people, their entire job is dedicated to stealing your identity. Like, dang, if you that freaking smart, why don't you get a real job? Stop being a scam artist.
Shoot, those scammers are good. I'm always 2 seconds away from getting scammed, I swear.
Same. Until you start hitting me with a name that does not match. And then I'm like, hold up. It ain't going down, Playboy. I swear it. I swear it.
Oh, goodness. Well, yes, while you're out buying a robo vacuum, there are some other deals that are going to be outside of the shopping aisle. We got Buffalo Wild Wings with 2 entrees, 2 sides, 2 drinks for $19.99. You can't beat that deal. And you know what? After that, stop by Roy Rogers and get the 2 for $8 Gold Rush sandwiches. Those are some money. And if that was not enough, Dunkin's is down the street and they're selling a bucket. That's right, a bucket of 50 munchkins for $12.99. You can take that bucket afterwards and take it trick-or-treating. You can't beat these deals.
Oh, girl, you better tell it. Deals, deals, and more deals, be it Black Friday or every Friday. Shoot, maybe even a random Tuesday. But either way, we're glad. I'm so glad that they're finally giving us some breaks on these food products because honestly, they were overpriced to start. Really, are they really truly giving us deals or were they kind of scamming us from the beginning? I feel like that's more it. It's not really that they're giving us a deal. It's that they're knocking it down to the real price and making it seem like a deal. But either way, it's massaging my brain. So let's get them.
Well, unfortunately, some businesses don't have the means to cut the consumer a break. Those grand slam breakfasts will be hard to come by when Denny's closes down 150 locations by the end of next year. I'm more of a Waffle House girl, but still, it's hard to hear. And you know what really hurt? When I heard that Home Goods was closing, after more than 134 years, their parent company is shutting down some shops.
Yeah, it's true. I guess a lot of these companies and these restaurants can't keep up with high costs and also Amazon. All the online ordering, it makes the malls and other stuff obsolete. People don't want to go to Kmart. So those got out. Toys R Us, bye-bye, see you later. Although I did hear they're making a comeback in Macy's. But yeah, I think the Amazon, COVID really took out the individual in-person shopping experience. Now everything is moved to online. I guess that's the way of the world now, but it makes me sad because I'm elder millennial. And yeah, it's depressing. We used to love the mall, hanging out at the mall. It's different days. But you know what? Maybe if they had even better deals or maybe some go-go juice, we would be down to shop in person again.
Go juice. Are you talking about that pizzeria in Western Germany that got busted for serving cocaine on the side of their pizzas? Yeah, apparently, if you went into the shop and you ordered a number 40, you could score yourself some drugs. The individual was arrested when the police found 3.5 pounds of cocaine and 14 ounces of marijuana. But a couple days later, the individual was out, running back with the pizzas and the side of cocaine special. Police, allowed him to do it because they saw this as an opportunity of, busting a larger drug ring, which they did. They stormed 2 plantations of cannabis and I guess confiscated 360 pounds. This all started, though, with the real narcs, the food inspectors.
God bless the food inspectors. I mean, really, they be on their game, whether it's looking for roach eggs or wrong temperatures. They're going to get you with the booger sugar too. Don't you think you're going to be sliding them nose beers out with the side of garlic knots? Because you're not. The narcs are here for you. They gonna shut you down in a quick, fast hurry. Now, you may be able to reopen a few days later, but it won't be without judgment. Your rating will fall at least 10 points if that cocaine is not clean. You better have bagged it up right and served it up well.
All right, let's move things to some political news. Recently, Eminem introduced Obama in Detroit at a Kamala Harris rally. I guess he's trying to get the fans to support Harris. As Obama entered the stage, he started to rap M's song, Lose Yourself, which I guess he had to because dude is cool. The Democratic Party is really pushing fandom to get these voters to the booths. Don't you think, Britt?
Yeah, girl, I'd say they're definitely pushing fandom. But the thing is, so are the Republicans. It's just the Democrats got better rep. Like, the Republicans have like Kid Rock and the Dems have Eminem. So, I mean, it's just better superstars. Yeah, Obama definitely had some support way back in the day. And sometimes that support can kind of come back to bite you in the butt. Like Diddy, Puff Daddy was big on Rock the Vote way back when he was trying to drum up success for Obama. And yeah, now the diddler's in a little bit of a troublesome patterns here. So, be careful who you choose to represent you guys. It's not just about scoring the votes. It's also about scoring quality. So don't just be dipping in whatever party you want.
Both parties, like you said, they're pressing the vote. They're also jumping on different platforms to reach different audience in mass numbers. Trump, he will be on Joe Rogan's podcast this week. They record on Friday, and the Harris camp is also trying to get on that train. So they're getting out there and they're rallying to get those votes. They're also getting out there and I guess tapping into fast food chains. Trump, he was serving up fries at a Pennsylvania McDonald's, really trying to show up Harris on that one. He started with learning how to fry up the fries and slowly moved his way to the drive-thru where he started addressing fans' questions. It was quite the spectacle, but, McDonald's, they jumped in there and said, we're not endorsing. We just allowed him to shut down the restaurant for the day and do what he was going to do. So, yes, they're taking a solid stance that they have never supported or endorsed a candidate publicly.
That's a good move, Nick, because they don't choose sides, baby. They choose fries, okay? And that's the best way to go about it when you're a corporation. Sometimes it's better to not show loyalty to one side or the other because you never know who you're going to be pissing the tide against. So it's always just best, I feel, at least in a monetary sense, to remain neutral.
Yep. Keep politics out of business for sure. Speaking of McDonald's, they're experiencing a large E. coli outbreak. Currently, one is dead and 49 are sick. And it seems that the E. coli is spanning from their quarter pounders. Late last week, the CDC had reportedly reached out to McDonald's, telling them about this possible link between the burgers and their restaurants. And since then, 10 states have experienced this outbreak. They have since taken the burger off of a fifth of their restaurants. So they want their consumers to know they're taking this seriously and that, it is still safe to eat at their restaurants. Don't hold back.
Well, as you know, Nicole, I never hold back from fast food. Unfortunately, that's not always the best option. I should be picking sides and not fries, but I don't think it's just a quarter pounder that's giving people trouble. My husband was super ill about 2 weeks ago from, I guess what is it, the new McChicken double quarter, whatever the hell it's called.
McChicken Big Mac.
McChicken Big Mac. There you go. And he got ill as hell off of it. And he knows it was just from that because everything else he had eaten, he was fine. And it was only after that he became ill. So Mickey D's, maybe got to move the McChicken Big Mac off of there as well because that did not go down very easy on certain stomachs. So watch yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, he probably did get sick from it, but other people have actually been raving about the McChicken Big Mac. It's not too bad in the calories, 530, and I guess it has 20 grams of fat. So for a after workout meal, it might not be a bad option.
Exactly. Think about how much weight you'll lose after throwing it all back up. It's like, did the calories even count, Woody? I'm not sure.
Speaking of disease, Egypt is malaria free, according to the World Health Organization, a true milestone since the country has been working on eliminating the disease for almost a century. They have been malaria free for 3 consecutive years, which gives them the credit that they are actually malaria free in general. Globally, over 600,000 people die annually from malaria. So this is great news.
That is fantastic to hear. Because malaria, well, obviously is a killer and that's really disgusting. But I personally hate malaria. All other diseases that are trafficked by them, disgusting, nasty, buzzing, gross, teeny, but also big time nasty, mosquitoes. I know a lot of people won't believe this statement I'm about to make, but it is 100% the truth. I would much rather a wasp be in my house than a mosquito. I cannot stand them. Also, a few weeks back, they were at their fever pitch worst. I swear it. They always get horrible right before they know their season's about to go and they're going to die until the next heat wave rolls through and they wake up from their tombs of disgust and terrorize us all. So big ups on Egypt for getting the malaria out and over with. And now I just can't wait for the scientists to make that breakthrough on preventing mosquitoes from repopulating and living longer. F them bees, if you know what I mean.
Good job, Egypt. Since we're in the Middle East, let's talk about some key points with Israel. Netanyahu's vacation home was hit by Hezbollah drones early Saturday morning in an assassination attempt. So that's no good. Netanyahu responded saying that was a grave mistake, but him and his wife are okay. We also had the death of a Hamas leader, Yahya Sinwar, which also escalated things between Israel and its regional enemies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iran.
It is rowdy over there. It is absolutely Captain Insano, but not for nothing. The guy's last name is Sinwar. Sin is bad in American. War is probably just as bad. So Sinwar had to go. Sorry, his name wrote his fate, but yeah, boss, it's time to make your exit.
In other war news, Russia, Ukraine. We recently voted and U.S. is shelling out $20 billion out of our pockets and sending it their way. The other G7 states, they are contributing $30 billion, totaling 50. And yeah, Ukraine, they are expecting the funds soon. They are also expecting North Korean soldiers to arrive any moment at the front in Kursk, Russia.
Wow. I feel like we give a lot of money away, and it's not really particularly for me to say, but I've always just kind of thought, why can't they just print more money? Now, in actuality, I understand you can't. It would mess with the inflation. It would, result in the loss of a purchasing power to a degree. And of course, your investor confidence would go down. If you're an investor, if the money's not worth the same amount that you originally put in, well, that's going to be a problem. But when I hear about all this money going out, I'm just like, yo, I know it's not feasible, but please, can you guys like print some more or something? Or maybe just like, I don't know, stop giving money away. I don't know. I know people feel differently. A lot of people feel one way, a whole other bunch feel another. But I'm just like, stop giving our loot away, dog.
They might be printing the money, Brittany. President Biden assures taxpayers that it won't affect them. So I can't do the math on that. But if it's not coming out of my pocket, whose pocket is it coming out of? Another Russian oligarch died after falling out of a 10th floor window. Mikhail Rogochev was found dead under suspicious circumstances. He had left a note and texted his sister to contact his wife, saying that he was in a bad state of mind. This is conflicting to other reports that said he was fine and in a good mood that morning. He wasn't suicidal and he didn't have any form of cancer, which was recently reported that he was ill. The former oil executive's death adds to the list of other high-profile Russian businessmen and oligarchs who have died in the recent years from unusual circumstances.
Fishy. And it's not fish oil we're talking about. It's regular oil. And anytime people are involved in that, some griminess certainly goes down. Where there is oil, where there is coal, where there is any of that stuff, they are going to find killers and strife. So, I'm not surprised at all. The Middle East, they say, is the birthplace of human beings. I guess way even back before Mesopotamia. And they still be messing around because they seem to not be ever able to get their stuff together over there. I'm going to pray for them, but they need to look inward, man, not downward into the ground and worry about what's in there.
Yeah, fishy indeed. This one I would definitely say, wasn't a suicide attempt. But speaking of falling out of windows, Liam Payne from the band One Direction, he fell off a third floor balcony while vacationing in Argentina last week. It was said that he fell, but I think they retracted the statement saying that he did jump and it was a suicide attempt. They did a blood test on the body and I guess it came back with levels of cocaine, pink cocaine. He's reportedly, acting out in the lobby before they carried him to the room. He had smashed his laptop. He had smashed the hotel TV. There was drugs all over the tables. He had definitely done a number to the room. And there was even a police call that went out prior to him falling out off the balcony that the staff was worried about his well-being and to get officials over there to check him out.
That is honestly kind of not surprising. Usually whenever anyone takes their life, there's been a whole pattern of drug use, alcohol abuse, checkered past. I was told, or not personally told, but I read that he had some stalking issues with his ex-girlfriend. They're just kind of, coming apart at the seams a little bit. And it's sad. And you really wish that someone so young, so talented, with so much future ahead of themselves would have gotten the proper care and treatment to hopefully prevent this type of thing. It's just another tragedy. And our heart goes out to all family, friends, and fans. This is another loss. And we're going to pray for him.
I think there's an initiative after this to push for, family involvement to be allowed to call in mental health help to just assist and assess these individuals that are going through a mental crisis. And I think, it sucks to lose anyone. But if it, results in something good, at least there's that. Another thing, and that is good, teen tobacco use is down. It has reached a 25-year low, according to the CDC. The use of middle and high school students is down from 2.8 million in 2023 to 2.25 million currently. E-cigarettes specifically fell from 2.13 million to 1.63 million. And speaking of e-cigarettes, popular vape tycoon Juul is doling out $300 million to past consumers. Some customers even reporting that they've received more than $7,000 in payouts. The class action lawsuit was brought on due to the company misrepresenting the addictiveness to the product and marketing it towards minors. I swear they say tobacco use is down, but in my generation, the use of Zyn pouches is up. They caught Baker Mayfield on the sidelines stuffing one in the lip during the Buccaneers game on Monday. Zyn had to reach out and mention how they definitely do not recommend this. And hey, Baker Mayfield, don't actually do this.
Yeah, that stuff is so gross. And honestly, no matter what it is, it's still kind of nasty. And obviously, it's detrimental to your health. But I will say one thing, when you're smoking original cigarettes, you know what's going to potentially happen. With these newfangled vapes and such, they don't know exactly what the potential risks and future issues and diseases would result from its use. So I don't know. It sounds like so boomer-esque of me, but at the same time, like, get in or get out. Like, you're either 10 toes down in the trenches, like the real Stogarinos with, the Marlboro Reds and the true chewing tobacco, as opposed to like these little Zyn pouches. I've even seen several videos on TikTok of like young chicks in like Sweden and stuff. And they all got them in. They're like 18, 19, 20 years old, and they all have a Zyn pouch in. And I just don't understand it. I feel like if at that rate, if that's what you're finna do, why not just wear a nicotine patch? So yeah, speaking of toxic things, do you remember back when we were in middle school, they would always be warning us about toxic shock syndrome if you were wearing a tampon for too long? Well, apparently it's actually a threat. I didn't realize it was as bad as it potentially could be, but there's a gal out of Texas, 43-year-old Ashley Descare. She developed toxic shock syndrome at her friend's wedding when she wore a tampon for 8 hours. She ended up in the ICU for 5 days and apparently is lucky to be alive. Now she's warning other women of the dangers of wearing a tampon for too long. She got major chills, vomiting with frequency, and within 3 days, her blood pressure had dropped and she was struggling to breathe. High temperatures, it's very scary. Apparently, it occurs in 1 out of every 100,000 people and can even result in death for 70% of the cases. So yeah, it's rare, but I mean, the results can be devastating, literally life-ending. Apparently, there was this model, her name's Lauren Wasser, and in 2018, she developed TSS while wearing a tampon as well. 107-degree fever, and, all sorts of crazy stuff I never would have expected. Gangrene on her foot. It actually resulted in having her leg amputated. In fact, it got so bad, they ended up to opt to amputate her second leg. So now she is, without 2 legs because of a tampon. So who knew? But she was fighting for legislation with the help of Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney. Now, people are saying apparently it's not directly caused by an infection from the organism itself. It's caused by the toxin produced by the organism called Staph aureus. And it's not limited to just people that wear tampons in the places that you would suspect. It's actually even for clean tampons worn in the nose after nasal surgeries and stuff when you're packing the wound. Apparently, it can happen to people in the face as well. So, not to scare anybody, but definitely look for any signs and symptoms of TSS. Make sure to change your shovets with frequency and just monitor your flow in general. It's always good to kind of keep up with that stuff. I swear, every time I go to the doctor's office, they're like, when was your last period? And I'm just sitting there like, dang it. So now I've been keeping track so that way I don't look like a fool. But yeah, it's just good to know what's going on with your body in general.
Yes, thanks for keeping us in check, Brittany. I mean, I remember they taught us about this in high school, but I hadn't ever heard anyone suffer from it. And I've actually heard of girls forgetting that they've had a tampon in and leave it in for days. So, I mean, with that in mind, I just assumed they were just trying to scare us. But you scared us today. And we will definitely be a little more hygienic and we will pay a little more attention. On that note, though, let's wind the show on down and take a moment to recognize spooky season. Halloween, sadly, is becoming less popular and people are celebrating less and even dumbing it down and doing the whole trunk or treat event.
Boo, Getty, and beat balls, girl. I do not like this trunk or treat stuff. Now, I understand maybe for very small children, but they do this stuff like weeks in advance, like not the day before, not even the week before. I mean, I'm seeing people do it already. Like it's just becoming too much. It used to be so much fun going around the neighborhood. Even if you live in a rural area, you still could get dropped off in one of those HOAs so you can hit up all the houses, see all the decorations. And I don't know. I feel like Christmas is just trying to push and shove its way to the top. Like y'all already got a whole month. Let Halloween have its time. And then also let's be thankful for Thanksgiving. So it's sad to see, but it ain't happening to me. I still put Halloween at the top of my list, and I personally can't wait for it.
Yes, trunk or treat. Hey, instead of a house, you got your car dressed up. You shrunk that size way down, and then you shrunk the size of how far you walk with your kid to the size of a parking lot. So yes, to me, it's just a lazy attempt at Halloween. Let's do a section now. This or that. We're bringing it back, everyone. We have the most fun with this. And I'm going to start it off with Brittany. Caramel apple flavor or pumpkin spice?
Oh my gosh. I love both so much, but I have to say caramel apple. It's so good. How about you?
I really do enjoy a caramel apple, and I do enjoy those lollipops that are apple flavor with the caramel on them. Those are money. I might have to go pumpkin spice. I might be one of them basic ladies that like the pumpkin spice latte, and I do like a pumpkin bread. So yes, definitely pumpkin spice for me.
Delicious. Honestly, you can't go wrong either way. So good choice. Now, how about this one though? Do you prefer like the sour or like kind of hard candy, or do you prefer the chocolate?
So I'm probably a rare female that will say I don't like chocolate really. I enjoy a good Reese's. I think the peanut butter is more the flavor I want. So I'm going to go sour, except not sour hard, sour soft. I'm going to go maybe with a Sour Patch Kid, a sour gummy worm. Those warheads, those are a little too sour. I remember really being into that when I was a child, and I guess I was also into self-inflicted pain because those things burn so bad, but you just want to pop another one in and experience it all again.
You are not wrong. As for me, I don't know. I'm going to be the basic B on this one, and I'm going to pick chocolate. I love the mini Snickers, of course, Reese's. I'll even bang with the Three Musketeers, even though they're kind of midi. But my ultimate favorite for Halloween is the caramel apple Milky Way. Now, they are a limited edition, but they are Bang City, as well as the Tootsie Rolls that are flavored in like autumn tastes. Those are so delicious to me.
Well, okay. Yeah, so you are do chocolate, but when you do a round out in the neighborhood collecting candy from your neighbors and you go into your pouch later, what piece of candy are you specifically hoping you find? Like, which one is your favorite?
Oof. Almond Joy.
Almond Joy? Oh, wow. Wasn't expecting that.
I'm a rogue one, lady.
Dude, yeah. You said, yeah, you'll go for anything and all, but I wasn't expecting an almond joy to be your first grab. For me, I mentioned the Reese's peanut butter cup. So I'm gonna still have to default to that or a Butterfinger because that is pretty much the same thing, except it's got that crunch. It brings me back to the day where, Butterfinger BBs were a thing. Those things were mine. That was my favorite. I mean, that was probably like the start of me gaining weight is working those BBs. They got me every time.
No, those are so good. I'm so mad that they removed those. They still had like Bunch of Crunch or whatever from like the Crunch bars by Nestle. But yeah, the Butterfinger BBs were so freaking money. Like I just can't even describe how much better those are even than the original Butterfinger. Like the chocolate to Butterfinger inside ratio is so delicious. Also, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but if you melt down candy corn, which a lot of people don't like, I love because I like good and plenties and nasty stuff like that. So maybe I just don't even count. But if you melt down candy corn, mix it with melted peanut butter, let it harden, then dip that joint in chocolate, it kind of tastes like Poor Man's Butterfinger or Fifth Avenue. I don't know if you guys have had it, but it's PDG. Pretty damn good.
You make it sound pretty damn good, but those those candy corns will never taste good to me alone. That's for sure.
So obviously candy's good in any season, but I want to say costumes are kind of like more limited to Halloween itself. So what do you prefer? Do you like to make a costume or would you rather buy a costume?
I really appreciate a well-made homemade costume, but if the homemaker isn't a good maker, then yeah, I would say just buy the costume. I want to see the presentation for what it is, and I want to be able to guess what you are. And if I can't, then I mean, you should have just defaulted to Spirit Halloween.
Amen, sis. I feel that. I personally am going to have to go the opposite route. I would rather see a crappily done homemade Halloween costume than kind of like the boxed bag. I have respect for both. I respect anybody that's dressing up and keeping up with the season. But me personally, I don't know. I just like kind of making my own creations at the house. So I'm going to go with make your own costume.
Very nice. Well, I'm going to get a little risque with it. Brittany, would you rather sleep with a goblin or an ogre?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have been watching Fallout, or I guess was watching Fallout. Season ended. So good. Y'all should tune in. I don't even watch TV like that, and it was good. But I feel like I've dated some ogres. Ugh, so I'm going to say hop on a goblin.
I'm going to have to Shrek it up. I actually had to Google what a goblin looked like, and then I compared it to what an ogre looks like. And yeah, if you see these pictures, you're going to go with the ogre, hands down. So I'm going with Shrek.
Well, ain't no shame in that game. But when it comes to our winged friends, are you more of an owl person or do you prefer bats?
Yeah, bats equal rabies. So I'm definitely going owl. I don't even know how that's even a question. The owl, it's quiet. It sits there at night. Sometimes you hear a who. Sometimes you don't even know that owls are out in the woods. They hunt at night, mice, nocturnal. I like staying up late. So owls.
Okay, I dig it. I dig it. I love owls too. I mean, because how could you not? They turn their heads like 360, 180, whatever's clever. So I respect that. But I'm a bat girl. And yeah, I think it's because I'm gonna bring it back to the dang mosquitoes, man. They eat mosquitoes. So anything that murks those little pieces of crap, I'm down for. So I'm picking the bats. Plus, I don't know, bats I feel like are more Halloweeny. Plus, I used to just get such a thrill like seeing them fly around at night. If you really watch how they fly, like the way they move, you could tell that it's not a bird. And I just found that so fascinating. So bats for me.
I do like the association of bats with vampires. I really thought that was creative. And so I guess I can see your point there.
Well, when it comes to doing fun stuff for the season, what do you prefer? Are you more of a corn maze fan? Or are you kind of more of a haunted house person?
I'm probably a corn maze girl just because I hate haunted houses. I hate them so much. I'd rather be out in the sun at a pumpkin patch, enjoying the day, enjoying the many festivities on a pumpkin patch. It just is less frightening for me. So, yes, this past weekend, Brittany and I went to the Evermore Haunt in Baltimore, Maryland. Her cousin actually owns it. And I must have been on some blackout level because I agreed to go. And it was a pretty decent thrill. I enjoyed it. It wasn't too much for me to handle, I guess, in the state of mind that I was in. And yeah, I had a blast. The food in the streets, the drinks. It was a good time. I recommend it.
Oh, yes. 100%. See, I prefer haunted houses. And let me explain my reasoning. So, one, I understand that, corn mazes are great and they're totally representative of the season, but I just don't like being out in the bright sunlight and the heat. Also, are ticks in them bad boys? I don't know. Plus, I'm a horrible, horrible navigator, my fault. And by the good grace of God, I went with my friend Amber this weekend and she was able to lead us through. It was the only reason that I got all them hole punches. God bless her. But I definitely enjoy haunted houses more. Going with you was hilarious because I never really get scared too much, but seeing your reactions were pretty funny. Plus, I just love the theatrics of it. It's just so cool. At the Nevermore Haunt, they got a whole lot of stuff in the streets, like you said, the food, the drinks. They also have just cool stuff that you can buy to show support, like pins, sweatshirts, hats, the whole kit and caboodle. So I don't know. I'm a haunted house girl for life.
All right, last one. Ghosts or skeletons? Which would you prefer?
Whew. Okay, so I love ghosts. One, because they're real. Two, because I've had ghostly encounters. Three, because they're not limited to any season or reason. Ghosts are a fact of life. Personally, I don't care if I sound nuts, just like aliens. I don't care. But yeah, ghosts are like, I don't know, any season. So I'm going to go with skeletons. I think that's more representative of spooky season in particular. And there's just something so cute about the way they can smile, but the smile is only controlled by the flesh. So totally not making sense, but totally making my brain smile. How about you? What you like better, ghosts or you like them bone boys?
Well, I didn't write this question, so I didn't really know what the question was. Like, what do I prefer? Like, what to encounter? Because I think we discussed this, but yeah, I would rather maybe an adamant object laying there with, no movement over something I can barely see that might spook me at any turn that's moving around, possibly talking, touching, not with that. But if we're talking of things to scare me, of course, a ghost. So, yeah, I think in general, more interesting, the answer would be ghost.
Yeah, I mean, They're all awesome, truth be told. It's just a great season all around. So no matter what you pick, you can never be wrong when it's something opinion based. Something opinion based like that. When it comes to other stuff, who knows? But when it comes to this, which would you rather? I think it's all fun and games. All treats, no tricks.
That's right. Well, we just want to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween. I don't believe we'll be doing an episode next week, and then I will be off in Vegas for the American film market the following week. So we'll think about it, maybe do a special Halloween episode. But if we didn't, then the end of this show is definitely that. So we hope you enjoyed. You have a good rest of your weekend.
And take care until next time. Bye, y'all.